focus now and think about it throughout the whole video, is you must choose now to implement a plan to ensure you are actively maintaining and growing through dealing with stress, anxiety, and PTSD. You need to choose now to take these tips and steps and implement a plan that best suits and meets your needs. This video of the series, number 22, 25, not quite the last one yet, but I want to focus on developing a plan to deal with the PTSD, stress, and anxiety. Having a plan in place is what is going to assist and ensure you are doing what needs to be done with the daily maintenance and growth. This is necessary as like drinking water, food, what you need on a daily basis. You need daily action towards dealing with PTSD and stress, and you need to implement a plan and follow the plan. Looking at all these tips and steps that I've discussed in this video series and determining what can be best applied to you and determining what is my end state, what is my ultimate goal, what do I define mission accomplishment or success. Like our government, when we go to war against an adversary prior to engaging in the battle, they develop, well, what do we want to achieve? When do we say mission accomplishment? Kind of like the recent fight against ISIS. We defined what does it mean to defeat ISIS? Obviously this wasn't defeat the ideology. You're never going to defeat the ideology. Defeat ISIS means we're going to destroy the caliphate. They can no longer operate and execute large-scale operations, and that is the defeat. You need to determine what is my level of success and how is that defined, because you are not going to remove or eliminate the impacts of stress and PTSD, but you need to determine at what level do you want that success of dealing with it. Now, so what you need to do is create a plan and look through the 25 videos and look through all the variety of tips that I provided and determine what is something that must be done daily, and then what are some areas that I need to grow on. And you're going to develop a training plan and schedule. You'll see what are some stuff that has to be done daily, what is some stuff that maybe weekly, maybe monthly, maybe every once in a while, and then maybe some will be specifically focused on a certain area that you want to grow on. Now, this is going to be your plan. And I provided some ideas that I think will work, but you need to modify this plan and these ideas to be yours. So what I ask you to do, as you watch a video and you decide to develop your plan, you take a piece of paper, you draw a line down the middle. The left side, you are writing every thought and idea and principle that comes to your mind as you watch the video. Then after that, on the right side, you are going to make sense of this and do additional study if you have to, and to begin to figure out, well, based on the tips that you heard, what works best for you and what do you want to implement? And that is how you are going to make sense of all these tips and build upon them and come up with your own plan. And then when you develop your plan, you have to also understand what are some mechanisms, some resources, some systems that will better help me execute the plan and track the plan and see my progress. So there are a lot of different apps out there that track, habit apps that are real good because you can list goals. I'm using one now, like if I have the daily goal of doing mindfulness, because that is something you want to do daily. And so it reminds me, do your mindfulness, and I'll stop and I'll do my 5 or 10 minute mindfulness. Every little thing that you need to do daily, you can use this tracker, and it's cool because it'll show you an overall progress. As I mentioned in the video about being task oriented and accomplishing a task a day, like making your bed and things like that. And as over time you start to see all your accomplishments, you feel good about that. And so use some type of mechanisms to track and to be able to see your progress and implement your plan. And also, as you do an analysis, you identify stuff that must be done daily, and then focus on things where you have a specific area that you want to grow on. Think about purpose or goal or end state you want to achieve. And then you have multiple different things you want to focus on and train on. Take advantage of a resource that will benefit a couple different objectives. And I'll give you an example. So in project management professional, they use a term that they call resource leveling and smoothing. That means if I'm using a resource to get after one task, how can I use that same resource to get after another task? An example, let's say you have a construction project, you're pouring a concrete pad, but then also you need to pour some concrete for like a foundation or something else, as I bring this concrete truck in, let me have everything ready that needs the concrete so I can pour it all at once and take advantage of that. And so think about that. If maybe I talk a lot about doing cognitive exercises, because strengthening your cognitive ability helps you deal with reasoning and deal with the initial thoughts that come to your mind when the amygdala hijacks your thoughts. It builds you up. So if you're doing cognitive development and doing research on something, make sure that research aligns with some of your end goals. Maybe you also want to, I talk about serving others, and so maybe your research has to do on something that aligns with how you can help in the neighborhood or help serve others, and you focus your research on that type of topic. Or if you're going for school or something like that, like a good example right now is, so all of my cognitive exercises have dealt on understanding PTSD in the brain, because I am doing these videos right now. So I am resource leveling by focusing, doing my cognitive workout, aligning that with creating these videos. So the bottom line key takeaway with this: if you do not implement a strong training plan to get after your PTSD and stress, then it's going to overcome you. You have to choose to actively engage in developing a plan.